According to Martha Stout's book, The Sociopath Next Door, 1 in 25 people are a sociopath. Today, I hope to shed a light on the 4% of the population who suffers from a mental illness that many of us just don't understand. If we apply these statistics to our school of around 800 students, that means there are around 32 sociopaths roaming these halls, and most likely one in this very room. While these numbers may shock or even scare some of you, sociopaths are an everyday reality for us all, so it's important for us to know how they function. I was first interested in sociopaths after watching Shane Dawson's Jake Paul series, The Mind of Jake Paul. A lot of great information about sociopaths was shared in that video, but after I decided to do some extensive research of my own to learn more on the topic. Today, I'm going to share some of that research with you by first explaining the disorder behind sociopathy, second, giving you some characteristics of a sociopath, and lastly, explaining how sociopaths function in everyday life. So let's begin with the disorder that makes a sociopath. While many of us just think of sociopaths as crazy people, they actually suffer from a personality disorder. Personality disorders are very broad and various, but the Harvard Mental Health Letter describes personality disorder as an enduring pattern of thinking, feeling, and behavior that causes personal distress or poor functioning. With this, it's important to note that sociopaths don't just have different thoughts than us. They also express emotions differently and perceive the world much differently from the rest of us. More specifically, though, sociopaths suffer from antisocial personality disorder, or ASPD. Merriam-Webster defines this as characterized by antisocial behavior, exhibiting pervasive disregard for and the violation of rights, feelings, and safety of others. To sum this up, sociopaths generally do not have regard for their own safety and well-being as well as that of others. So they may lack a strong conscience or they may not have any conscience at all. So now that we've gone over the basics of the disorder behind a sociopath, let's look at the distinct characteristics of a sociopath. The American Psychiatric Association claims that possessing any 3 of these 7 qualities is enough to clinically diagnose somebody with antisocial personality disorder. These are failure to conform to social norms, manipulativeness, impulsivity, reckless disregard for the safety of yourself or others, constant irresponsibility, and lack of remorse for having hurt, mistreated, or stolen from another person. In addition to this, Martha Stout claims in her book, Sociopath Next Door, that most sociopaths contain a superficial charm that helps to hide these negative qualities. Sociopaths can be scary and hard to point out because they use a superficial charm to hide all of these. Most likely they will learn from their surroundings because they don't normally empathize or feel the same way we do, and apply what they learn from other people to propel themselves farther in life. Now that we've gone over all of the basic aspects of what a sociopath is, let's look at how they function in everyday life with me and you. Most of us feel that sociopaths are criminals or troublemakers, and while this is definitely true, there are a lot of people who are out there living an everyday normal life. The Harvard Mental Health Letter says that 20% of all inmates are sociopaths, and half of all serious crimes committed are done by sociopaths. This makes a lot of sense. As we looked at those characteristics, a lot of those can lead to criminal behavior and very heinous crimes. But on the other side of this, many sociopaths are living everyday normal lives like the rest of us. M.E. Thomas is a diagnosed sociopath, and she wrote an article for Psychology Today called Confessions of a Sociopath, where she gave insight into her own life and mind living with antisocial personality disorder. She claims that she lacks remorse, does not feel most human emotions, and has very violent tendencies. She even says that she has genuinely wanted to kill people in her life before. Despite all of this, she says she is a generally good person and functions and is a benefit to society. In this article, she states, "You will like me if you meet me. I am an accomplished attorney and law professor. I donate 10% of my income to charity, and I am a functionally good person. Yet, I am not motivated or constrained by the same things most good people are." This shows the spectrum of sociopaths in our society. While some are committing heinous crimes, some use that superficial charm to put themselves as far as they can in the world and are acting just like the rest of us. So today I have told you all the disorder behind sociopathy, the characteristics of a sociopath, and I've explained how sociopaths function in society with the rest of us. Hopefully, by learning this information, you can be a little bit more considerate and knowledgeable whenever you use the word sociopath to describe somebody as crazy. And maybe you will better understand somebody in your own life who is suffering from this disorder, because, as I said before, statistically, every one of us knows somebody without a conscience. Thank you.